Welcome to the Baraza. Here we demystify the miseducation of Africa and Africans by tracing our roots, values, and dissect our social issues. Let's talk. Greetings, seekers of wisdom, keepers of culture, and explorers of truth. Today, I welcome you on an incredible journey. A journey through time, myth, and memory to rediscover a piece of Africa's spiritual heritage that has long been hidden in plain sight. This is the story of the serpent, a symbol so ancient, so profound, that its presence weaves through our history, our culture, and our very being. For centuries, the serpent was revered across Africa as a powerful emblem of wisdom, renewal, and transformation. It stood as a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, a guide to the divine. But when foreign powers invaded our lands, the serpent's story was twisted, its symbolism demonized, and its essence buried beneath layers of colonial distortion. Yet Africa's truths, like the serpent itself, are resilient. They coil, they endure, and they rise. Today, we unravel these truths. We'll explore the serpent's sacred role in African traditions, expose the colonial forces that sought to erase it, and reclaim the profound wisdom it represents. So join me as we delve into the coiled truth, reclaiming Africa's sacred serpent. Let's ignite the flame of knowledge and reconnect with the legacy of our ancestors. Across the vast and diverse continent of Africa, the serpent slithers through myth and culture, not as a creature of danger, but as an enduring emblem of divinity, fertility, and transformation. Let's explore how different African cultures viewed the serpent and what it meant to them. In Yoruba mythology, Osumare, the rainbow serpent, symbolizes unity and continuity, linking the earthly and spiritual realms. The Yoruba saw the serpent as a representation of life's cycles, an eternal reminder of our connection to the cosmos. The Dahomey people of Benin honored Dan, a celestial serpent believed to hold up the heavens. Dan embodied balance, harmony, and the infinite flow of existence. His presence reminded the Dahomey that all of creation is interconnected and sacred. In ancient Egypt, the serpent adorned the crowns of pharaohs as the uraeus, a cobra symbolizing divine authority and protection. The Ouroboros, a serpent devouring its tail, captured the essence of infinity, renewal, and the cyclical nature of existence, a concept that resonates even today. Among the Bantu peoples of Central and Southern Africa, serpents were seen as mediators between the living and the spiritual world. Vodun traditions across West Africa revere Dambala, a serpent deity representing purity, healing, and creation. The Zulu people tell tales of the rainbow serpent, a force that shaped the land and gave life to its inhabitants. These beliefs are not isolated. From Egypt to South Africa, from Nigeria to Benin, the serpent is a unifying symbol, a thread connecting the diverse spiritual landscapes of the continent. Its role transcends borders and languages, embodying the sacred relationship between humanity and the divine. But this sacred narrative was not meant to endure unchallenged. With the arrival of European colonizers, a campaign of erasure and distortion began. Colonial powers saw Africa's spiritual systems not as valuable traditions, but as obstacles to their dominance. To dismantle these systems, the colonizers targeted their symbols. The serpent, an emblem of wisdom and renewal, became a prime target. Through the lens of European Christianity, the serpent was recast as a villain, a tempter, a deceiver. The biblical story of the fall of man placed the serpent at the center of humanity's supposed downfall. Why demonize the serpent? Because it represented knowledge, the kind of knowledge that empowers, liberates, and challenges oppression. By turning this symbol of wisdom into a figure of fear, the colonizers sought to sever Africans from their spiritual roots. But their efforts didn't stop at demonization. The colonizers also appropriated African symbols, stripping them of their original context. Take the rod of Asclepius, for example, a serpent coiled around a staff, now a universal symbol of medicine. While its origins are often traced to Greek mythology, the serpent's association with healing and renewal has roots in African traditions, predating Greek civilization. Even today, the serpent graces the logos of global institutions like the World Health Organization and the American Medical Association. It is hailed as a symbol of progress, wisdom, and healing. Yet in Africa, this same serpent was demonized. The irony is glaring, and the injustice is profound. The serpent was stripped of its African context, leaving us disconnected from the wisdom it represents. Take a moment to like and subscribe, as we journey across the continent on a quest to not only change Africa's narrative, but also educate and entertain. Let's move from the symbolism of the serpent to the essence of African spirituality itself. At its core are three sacred elements: energy, air, and water. These elements are not just physical substances, they are spiritual forces, the true creators of life. Energy represents ability, the drive to create and transform. Without energy, there is no movement, no creation. Air signifies voice, the power of expression, the medium through which intentions and ideas take shape. Water embodies life itself, flowing through all living beings, nourishing and sustaining existence. Together, these elements form a sacred trinity. They are not abstract concepts, they are tangible, ever-present, and vital. Our ancestors understood this. They saw the divine not as a distant entity, but as an intimate force that permeates everything. Spirituality in Africa was deeply connected to nature. Rivers were seen as life-givers, winds as messengers, and the sun as a source of divine energy. There was no separation between the physical and the spiritual. They were two sides of the same coin, constantly reflecting and influencing each other. This holistic understanding was disrupted by colonialism. The imported religious systems replaced Africa's natural worldview with a rigid hierarchy, a single god above, a savior below, and humanity caught in between. Africans were taught to seek salvation externally, forgetting that energy, air, and water already connected them to the divine. But here's the truth: these elements are still within us. They are the creators, the sustainers, and the healers. By reconnecting with them, we can reclaim the spiritual wisdom that was hidden from us. Reclaiming the serpent's wisdom is not just a spiritual act, it's an act of liberation. It begins with unlearning the distortions imposed upon us and rediscovering the truths of our ancestors. We must see the serpent not as a symbol of fear, but as a guide. Its coiled form reminds us of cycles, the endless process of life, death, and rebirth. Its ability to shed its skin symbolizes renewal and transformation, a reminder that we too can shed the layers of falsehood and reconnect with our essence. Energy, air, and water are our inheritance. They are not separate forces, but integral parts of who we are. Reclaiming them means understanding that spirituality is not confined to temples or doctrines. It flows through us and around us. Imagine teaching our children to honor the serpent as a symbol of wisdom and empowerment. Imagine a world where Africa's spiritual systems are celebrated for their depth and complexity. Across the continent, this reclamation is already happening. From Ghana to South Africa, communities are uncovering the stories that colonialism sought to erase and passing them to the next generation. As we close, let us reflect on the resilience of Africa's truths. The serpent's story is not just a tale of the past, it's a living legacy, a reminder of who we are and what we can become. Reclaiming this knowledge is an act of courage. It's about honoring our ancestors, embracing our identity, and reconnecting with the forces that sustain us. The serpent doesn't crawl, it ascends, and so must we. To Africans, reclaim your symbols, honor your heritage, and teach your children the truth. To the world, acknowledge the source, respect the cultures that birthed the symbols you adopt. The serpent's wisdom is awakening. Will you rise with it? Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and let the coiled truth guide your journey. Thank you for watching. Join us next week for another demystifying journey.